Hello, I'm Dan Burnett from Dan Burnett Films, a video production company based in Niterói, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Today I'm with Kris Williamson, founder partner of Lext Intellectual Property, LLC. Today I'm here to ask Kris about how he got to Brazil, the firm's specializations, the firm's origins, and how recent developments have impacted the work that Lext does.
Dan, thanks very much for inviting me here today. I emigrated from the UK back in 1995 with my wife, who's a Brazilian, and my eldest son. I am a qualified attorney in the UK, a barrister at law. I qualified back in 1993. When I came to Brazil, I started looking for jobs in the law area and ended up working for an intellectual property law firm in Rio de Janeiro soon after my arrival. I was initially a consultant, and then I actually moved into the legal type of work much later. I qualified at the bar here back in 2005, so I'm one of the few dual qualified lawyers in the country.
So Kris, tell us a bit more about your firm today, who your clients are and what services you cover.
After many years here, Dan, working with various firms in the intellectual property area, I decided it was time to branch out and open up my own practice. So in 2013, with my business partner Mauricio Tavares, we opened up a firm in Niterói, and also it has the additional advantage of being located not far from the PTO offices in Rio de Janeiro. Dan, we're an IP specialist firm, intellectual property. We specialise in the whole ambit of intellectual property. Now that ranges from trademarks to patents to software to industrial designs to utility models and software. So we treat and help people register these specific items of intellectual property in this country. So our clients range from the international stage, from people like Volkswagen to Audi, to a firm called Tencent in China, which is the biggest internet provider in that country, over 1 billion subscribers to all their services. So as I say, we have a huge area that we're involved in, but our bread and butter work is in providing consultancy services to the people who want to register trademarks, have issues with trademarks, with patents, and the like. One other service, Dan, that we do is the filing of patent annuities. Now I can do that individually for a person, or I can do it in bulk. Oftentimes I receive requests from consultants abroad wishing to file patent annuities for several clients at one time, and if I can give a special price on that. And yes, with the structure of our firm, we are able to provide this at a very, very cost-effective way and in an efficient manner as well.
So Kris, how many people do you employ and where are your offices located?
Yes, we're located in Niterói. That is mainly because that's where we live, and as I've said before, it's located very close to the PTO office in Brazil. However, we are looking to expand and have started that already. My business partner, for example, has gone to Sao Paulo and opened up a satellite office for us there. And we're in the process at the moment of completing an office in Campinas. Campinas is an interesting city because it reminds me of Silicon Valley in the USA, because there's a lot of activities there with innovation and inventions coming up, and it's great to have a presence there. We're totaling numbers of employees at the moment of 12, and I have a financial department, attorneys working for us, along with patent specialists.
So Kris, do you only deal with international clients?
Dan, our emphasis is not wholly on international clients. We do have national clients, and we do have quite a lot. One of the things we've been doing is focusing on the national market. In Brazil, for example, per year, well, actually last year, 245,000 trademarks were filed. So that's an awful lot of trademarks when you think on average, 20 to 25% of that are by foreigners. So it's a huge market over here which we'd like to tap into. And we have been doing that by giving talks, presentations to business leaders, also participating in local groups within the city of Niterói and in Campinas, where I said we've got the location, and also now in São Paulo. So we are looking, and we have expanded our national base of clients. So this will help us to expand in the future, because relying wholly on an international clientele is not very healthy for a firm. Perhaps to put it in perspective is if you look at trademark filings 10 years ago, it was 120,000 per year. Now it's 245,000, so that sort of gives you that idea of what seems to be happening with the economy.
Kris, what are the challenges facing Lext?
Dan, as to changes or challenges, there are two major things that have happened recently in Brazil. One is the Brazilian PTO adopting the Madrid Protocol for trademarks. And the other is the PTO also addressing a huge backlog in its examination of patents and how it seeks to overcome that.
So Kris, what's happened recently with trademarks in Brazil?
The biggest thing in trademarks is the Madrid Protocol. This came in to force in Brazil last year, 2nd of October in fact. And as most people understand who are in the area, this is a great tool for when you're filing trademarks. So now people can designate Brazil, and Brazilians can file abroad, designating many countries as well. So this helps out in the trademark filing process. Dan, for example, up until the middle of this month, which is August 2020, we've had nearly 7,000 designations before WIPO, which is quite significant. However, of that, 5,500, nearly 5,500 have actually proceeded to enter into the national phase in Brazil. Unfortunately, the PTO has only published 3,500 of those. So there is a bit of a sort of lag in that, but that we can probably attribute that to the fact that the protocol is brand new and the PTO is adapting itself to it, but it is responding very well. For example, the filing of a trademark now is done in a matter of filing and registration of a trademark now is done in a matter of months. It can be up to 9 months to a year. Anyone who's had some time dealing with Brazil over many years will know that at one stage it took nearly 10 years to register a trademark here. As regards to Brazilians using it to file through the WIPO system, is just approaching 100. 99 was the last figure I looked at. And we're talking of how many classes there is. It's nearly most are filing in multi-class filings, which is up to 3 classes. So, as one might think, it's a bit lopsided. 7,000 designations worldwide, but Brazilians not using it perhaps as much as they should be. So it's something that we're looking into, and hopefully encouraging the larger, medium-sized companies here to think about this is something that can be used for them to help them in marketing their products abroad and a more streamlined, efficient system of registering those trademarks.
Kris, you mentioned patents. What are the challenges with patents in Brazil?
Dan, with patents, it's very interesting. As I've harped on here a little bit about trademarks and how many are filed and the like, is that 20% are roughly foreign. When we look at patents, it's completely the opposite. Most filings in this country come from foreigners. And Brazilians account for, I would say, probably 20% of the filings of patents in this country. Most of the patents we get are through the PCT, Patent Cooperation Treaty. But interestingly, over the last 7 years, from say about 2013-ish, 2012, 2013-ish, down to now, there has been a slight drop-off in the total number filed. So, for example, back in 2013, it was about 35,000 patents filed. Of that, about 8,000 were filed by Brazilians and Brazilian companies, down to last year when it went down to 27,000. And we're only talking there again of about 20%, so we're talking about 7,000 Brazilians filing these patents. So those figures are quite interesting, because what does that show us? It shows us a lack of interest in filing in this country because it's taking so long for a patent to be granted. As everyone knows, it's 20 years from when the patent's filed for the length of life of a patent. But sometimes we're talking about 10, 12 years before a patent's probably got through to an examination. I mean, that's like laughable. So what is the incentive for, when I say most of our patent filings in this country are from foreigners, for foreigners to come here and file? What we're talking about is two types of preliminary office action. The first type is where the PTO will look at the prior art cited in regards to the patents, and will notice that other offices have conducted examinations in regards to that particular patent. It will cite those in an official action and request that the applicant furnishes more or less a defence, or probably better, an explanation as to how the searches conducted in the other offices, other international offices, impact the current application in Brazil. Here we're talking really of PCTs, and the applicant has a 90-day term to answer the official action. Answering that official action to the satisfaction of the examiner, the patent will then proceed to a full examination. The other type of action, preliminary action we're talking about here, is where the actual Brazilian examiner comes across discrepancies with regards to the patent as filed and wishes for the applicant to attend to those or explain these discrepancies so the application can move forward. Again, there's another 90-day term for the applicant to answer those, and all going well, it will proceed towards a full examination, substantive examination. With these two types of preliminary official actions, we've already started to notice that the progress towards filing patents, especially PCTs, has started to improve. So we are hopeful that this will improve the backlog. With regards to the trademarks, I've already explained that happened quite well, especially with the adoption of the Madrid Protocol. And this new system that the PTO is adopting now with patents, as I say, is helping us along.
So Kris, thanks very much for talking to us today about intellectual property. There's obviously a lot more to discuss, so we can get together again in the future for another talk.
Thank you very much for letting me participate in the programme. I hope everyone's found it useful.
If you've got any comments for Kris or questions, please write them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.